Is Dillon Brooks better than Russell Westbrook? According to his contract, he is. But let's take a look at every other free agency move across the league on the NBA.com website. Let's go. So here we are. This, I can't lie, I haven't read a single article on this website at all. But let's start from the beginning. Atlanta Hawks obviously got Patty Mills. This is a salary dump that they sent to the Thunder, and the Thunder managed to get picks for Patty Mills. I've got no idea how they've managed to finesse the Hawks like this, but somehow they have. I think Atlanta Hawks let go of John Collins, but we'll see all that later. But yeah, and they re-signed DeJounte Murray to a 4-year max contract. I don't know how I feel about Trae Young and DeJounte Murray again, because like before it was like my turn, your turn offense. I mean, towards the end of the season it was okay, and in the playoffs it wasn't terrible, but maybe Quinn Snyder can do something to help Trae Young play off ball, but DeJounte Murray can play off ball, but he's a ball handler as well, and you don't want to take that ability away from him just to fuel Trae Young. But I mean, Trae Young's a generational player. I'm sure he can figure it out, and we'll see what happens with the Atlanta Hawks. The Boston Celtics, Delano Banton, cool. O'Shea Brissett, alright. They had a good rookie, I can't remember his name, the bald guy, the one with alopecia. He looks good though, I really do like him. But Kristaps Porzingis is the big deal here in a 3-team trade where Porzingis, I don't think he re-signed. No, he didn't re-sign. He just used his player option. And it was a trade taking Marcus Smart to the Memphis Grizzlies. When we get to the Grizzlies, we'll talk about Marcus Smart's fit for them. But right now, I don't know why you trade away Marcus Smart if you're the Boston Celtics, because Marcus Smart is the life of Boston. He fuels everything. He's their defensive presence. He like runs the whole show in Boston. And he's been there since before Jaylen Brown was there, before Jason Tatum was there, before Al Horford was there. And like the second time at least for Al Horford. But they've taken it for granted, and if they win a championship now, it won't feel the same without having Marcus Smart there, because he means so much to over the past few years Boston basketball. He lived and breathed Boston basketball. Like, it just looks so right with him wearing green. But the Boston Celtics obviously get Kristaps Porzingis in this trade. The Kristaps Porzingis does fit them incredibly well. I don't know who's running the point over there, but having Jaylen Brown at the 2, Jason Tatum at the 3, Porzingis at the 4, maybe Al Horford or Robert Williams at the 5, that's a really good lineup, an incredibly good lineup. And I think Boston, have they traded away Malcolm Brogdon? I think they have traded away Malcolm Brogdon. Let me have a look. They have not traded away Malcolm Brogdon, so Malcolm Brogdon can run the 1 in Boston if he's not coming off the bench. So I think it's a good move for the Boston Celtics, but I don't know how I feel about Marcus Smart leaving. That might inevitably be the reason they don't win a championship, because they haven't got that dog that Marcus Smart has. The Charlotte Hornets, they have re-signed LaMelo Ball to a 5-year rookie max extension. A pretty sizable contract. I think it's like 17th biggest contract in NBA history. Really good, I think, for the Charlotte Hornets moving forward to keep their young core together. With that being LaMelo Ball and now Brandon Miller, and I guess Mark Williams as well. The rest of them are movable pieces. I think you can move Miles Bridges. Obviously, you don't need to sign him in the offseason next season. I think you can move PJ Washington still. I feel like with Brandon Miller there, I feel like we really have something with him and LaMelo Ball, because Brandon Miller can play off ball really well. That's my one thing that I say Brandon Miller is amazing at. That's off ball play. The Chicago Bulls. YouTuber KOT4Q, King of Fourth Quarter, Kenny Beecham has a conspiracy theory about his Bulls, where he says that the Chicago Bulls have to have a player from Chicago in their team at all times. And it's making sense, because if you look, they've signed Javon Carter, and Javon Carter's he's from Toronto. He's from Chicago, and like, they had players over the years that they haven't needed to have a player from Chicago. They didn't need to sign Pat Bev this year. They didn't need to sign Dwayne Wade when they signed him. But for some reason, they just had to have a Chicagoan in their team. Interesting. Other than that, they signed Torrey Craig, a good player. I'd prefer him on a better team. Kobe White as well, I think that's a good deal for them. But yeah, moving forward. Cleveland Cavaliers signed Ty Jerome, good backup guard. Damian Jones, I guess that helps them in the front court. Karis LeVert returns, good spark plug off the bench. George Niang, good shooter. And Max Strus, another good shooter, especially with Isaac Okoro not playing amazingly last season. I feel like this really strengthens them. They already have their core in Emob, Garland and Mitchell, and then obviously we have Jared Allen there as well. But yeah, they already have their core. Just got to wait for them now to see how their core develops. Obviously, last year was Darius Garland's first ever playoff appearance, so we can really see how they grow. The Dallas Mavericks have signed Seth Curry. They need shooting. Dante Exum. Where has Dante Exum been? I've got no idea. He was like 5th pick a couple years ago, and I had no idea where he went. They signed Dwight Powell. They signed and traded for Grant Williams, who I think can do really good things for them. Can give them that extra, the intangibles, the hustle, the grind, the grit. You know what Marcus Smart used to give to the Celtics? Grant Williams can give some of that. Not as much as Marcus Smart, but he can give you some of that. And obviously the big move, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving on a 3-year deal. He said he was coming back. People didn't believe him because obviously he lied to Boston as well. But Kyrie's back, and I feel like it can work with Luka. They didn't play together for too long, but it can work because Kyrie can play off ball. He can play off ball really well. It's just Luka learning to play off ball because he hasn't done that at all in his career so far. Maybe on Real Madrid, but not in the NBA. The Denver Nuggets, obviously, they just won a championship, so they have less to retool and less to tinker with. But obviously, Justin Holiday, they not re-signed him. They've signed Justin Holiday, gives them a bit of wing depth, I guess. Doesn't really make much of a difference. Reggie Jackson, that's NBA champion Reggie Jackson to you. DeAndre Jordan, that's NBA champion DeAndre Jordan to you. Yeah, 2 okay deals. DeAndre Jordan isn't going to play a lot. Detroit, they obviously got Monte Morris for a 2nd round pick. He's a backup guard. Like, he thought he was a lead guard in Washington. He isn't. He isn't. I'm sorry. He's hating on the Wizards fan base for wanting to trade him. But we just didn't, it wasn't a good fit. I'm sorry, Monte. It wasn't a good fit. Joe Harris provides him with a bit of shooting. Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart. Fairs, I guess. But, I mean, they have Jalen Duran there. They just got Saul Thompson. I mean, maybe he can slot in at that power forward. I don't know. I don't know if Bogdanovic is still there. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Because the 4-year extension is quite long. The Golden State Warriors, or as Flight says, the Golden State. Draymond Green returns on a 4-year deal. I think it's $100 million. A 4-year deal, Draymond Green. I don't know how I feel about that deal. I mean, he'll give them something in the first year or 2 years, but after that, he's just going to be a nuisance. And it's a big contract as well, and it's not going to be a very tradable or movable contract. So I guess we'll see how that pans out. But I've got a gripe to pick with Draymond Green. Draymond Green has this incessant capability to just piss people off, and he just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. I like his podcast. He had an episode with Trae Young the other day that was really good, and then he went on Pat Bev's podcast and he's just talking about Jordan Poole. And like, as a Wizard fan, beforehand I would have just been like, oh, this guy's annoying, but now it's starting to annoy me as well, because Jordan Poole was asked by the media several times about Draymond Green and didn't say anything. But now Draymond Green wants to come out and talk about other guys. They do not understand the whole point behind brotherhood and association. If you're talking like this now, it shows when you were teammates, you weren't really feeling him like that anyway. You weren't feeling him too tough. So I say, I know Draymond Green's accomplished a lot. I say Draymond Green's one of the best defenders of all time in the NBA. But keep your mouth shut, bro. You're a lame ass. No one likes you other than your teammates. You're just a prick. Plain and simple, Draymond Green, you're a prick. Cool, you're one of the best NBA players of all time, but you're a prick. Cheers. The Golden State Warriors also traded for Chris Paul. They obviously traded Jordan Poole away. I don't know how I feel about that for them. But in terms of Chris Paul, it gives them some backup point guard minutes. Obviously, now Steph Curry and Draymond Green won't have as much staggered minutes, because last season we weren't getting as much minutes where Draymond Green and Stephen Curry were on the floor, because one of them had to be with the second unit at some points, because the second unit just Wasn't good enough last year for Golden State. But Chris Paul gives them that allowance. And it's going to make Kuminga look amazing. Those lobs, wait on them. And Dario Saric, nobody cares. Houston, Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks is the big one. Obviously, they've got Amen Thompson in the draft, but Dillon Brooks, good defender, really good defender, and really good teammate. One thing people need to talk more about is how good of a teammate he actually is. How good of a teammate Dillon Brooks is. Because Dillon Brooks will ride out for his guys. He will give them 100%. He will talk them up. He will gas them up. He'll make them feel like superstars. And with Houston, with young up-and-coming players, it's important that some of them start to feel like superstars. Jalen Green could take that superstar jump this year if he just improves his efficiency. And I think Dillon Brooks can help that. And I know people say you don't want Dillon Brooks as a culture setter, but I think it's alright. I think he will help them in the long run. And yeah, I don't think he's worth that much. I don't think he's worth 20 mil a year. But I think he was going to get a lot of money as an all-defensive player and as a really good connector for teams. They also signed Fred VanVleet on a massive deal. I think it was 130 mil. That's a bad deal. That's the one deal I look at it and say that is not great, because Fred VanVleet, he not a great mid-range shooter. He shot okay from 3, but inside the arc he wasn't great last season. He's not going to have the spacing he wants in Houston. I mean, Dillon Brooks is going to be chucking up shots. Amen Thompson isn't a 3-point shooter. He can knock down 3, as we saw in Summer League, but not great. Not even good, to be honest. And obviously you have other players on the court, and Fred VanVleet isn't the greatest playmaker, especially with Jabari Smith Jr. could take a jump. Jalen Green should take a jump. Alperen Sengun should take a jump as well. And Fred VanVleet just isn't the best point guard in terms of point guard natural passing ability. He's more of a get his own bucket type guy. So I don't think he fits the Houston Rockets. But Imo Udoka can fix that together. That's not my job, that's his job. The Indiana Pacers, obviously they gave Supermax rookie extension. I don't even know if it's called a Supermax rookie. I'll just call it a max rookie extension to Tyrese Halliburton. Deserves it 100%. He's a franchise player. If people haven't started to know, get to know, because the passing ability on Tyrese Halliburton, the shooting ability on Tyrese Halliburton, he's a good defender as well. Sometimes he falls asleep, but he's a young player. Tyrese Halliburton is going to take over the league. He's going to be an all-star for years to come. And him with Obi Toppin, as you can see, don't think I didn't see it. Obi Toppin next to Tyrese Halliburton. That is so much fun. Even Bruce Brown next to Tyrese Halliburton, because Bruce Brown always makes the right cut and always makes the right decision. Next to Tyrese Halliburton, that's going to be beautiful basketball. The LA Clippers have signed, it was a trade for Kenyon Martin Jr. Fairs. Gives them more front court depth, which they did need, to be fair, because they didn't have much great players. So decent. And Russell Westbrook obviously re-signed as well in a dirt cheap deal for the Clippers. I think they're not interested in James Harden anymore. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the temperature is saying with that one. But he wants to go to the Clippers. And I don't know any other team that wants him in the entire association. So we'll see what happens. The Los Angeles Lakers can't stop making good deals. This year, the Lakers have done crazy good in the free agency. Rui Hachimura obviously returned on his rookie extension, 3-year deal. Good deal. He was really good in the playoffs. As a Wizards fan, I want all the best for Rui Hachimura. So we'll see how that goes. Jackson Hayes gives them more front court center depth, which they desperately needed last season. And he's a very good lob threat. Really good. Could play well with LeBron James. I mean, he doesn't stretch the floor, but he's really good still. Taurean Prince gives them more shooting and scoring, and that's only on a 1-year deal. So that's decent move for them. Austin Reeves, rookie extension there. 4-year deal, pretty cheap as well. And like, he can provide meaningful basketball, can knock down meaningful shots. He's really efficient. I like Austin Reeves a lot with his hillbilly basketball style. Cam Reddish signs as well. That's an experiment. You can improve Cam Reddish, especially next to LeBron James. You could see Cam Reddish have the best season of his young career so far. D'Angelo Russell re-signs. I think D'Angelo Russell needed a bit more confidence last year, and hopefully over the next 2 years he can gain his confidence in LA, in Showtown Town. Showtime Town in Los Angeles. So we can really see D'Angelo Russell make a jump next year and go back to being at least near all-star level quality. And Gabe Vincent, I think, is the best deal for the Los Angeles Lakers, because I think Gabe Vincent, as you saw every time I spoke about him in the finals last year, he makes the right decisions, always. And I don't know who they're starting between D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent, but Gabe Vincent will close games. Gabe Vincent is the player that makes the right decisions to the point where he will close the game for you. He will take the right shot for you. He'll make the right assist for you at the end of the game in clutch time. And the moment never phases Gabe Vincent. So I really like that. Los Angeles Lakers, what an offseason. Memphis Grizzlies, obviously, they got Derrick Rose. I really like that for them. Gives them some backup PG minutes. Especially when Ja comes back, and they probably play Ja and Marcus Smart at the same time. Derrick Rose gives them backup PG minutes behind Ja Morant, and I think that's a really good deal, especially Derrick Rose going back to his college was obviously Memphis. So I think Derrick Rose needs NBA minutes. I think he's still got a lot to give in the NBA. I feel like Tom Thibodeau gave up on him last year, but I really like that. Isaiah Todd, just believe in him. I'm telling you, believe in Isaiah Todd. He has something there. I saw it when he was playing for the Capital City Go-Go. None of you know who that is, but I saw it then. Believe in him, Memphis. Watch. Desmond Bane obviously signed a rookie extension as well, 5-year deal. Bit of an overpay, but yeah, go ahead, Desmond. Get your money up. Good shooter, and they have their core there as well. Especially if you add Marcus Smart to that. Marcus Smart, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane core isn't too bad. I like it. The Miami Heat signed Thomas Bryant on a 2-year deal. That's NBA champion Thomas Bryant to you. The Miami Heat still obviously trying to get Damian Lillard, who crested out of Portland. But we'll see what happens there. The Portland Trailblazers are really stalling. I think they should just accept the trade. Tyler Hero's a good player. Deal with it. Get a bit of draft assets. Get some players. Even if you've got to get Duncan Robinson. Just rebuild. You have a very good young core. Minnesota Timberwolves. Nickeil Alexander-Walker re-signs. Good deal. I like Nickeil. He was good in the playoffs this year. I think he gives you good defense, good shooting. And that's all you need from him. Anthony Edwards, rookie extension, 100%. Out of that draft class, I think Anthony Edwards is the best player. I don't think it's, obviously, it's not James Wiseman, but I don't think it's LaMelo Ball. I think it's Anthony Edwards. I think it goes Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, LaMelo Ball. Shoot me. Tyrese Halliburton is better than LaMelo Ball. I said it. Shake Milton as well gives them some defense and some decent play. Herb Jones re-signed for the New Orleans Pelicans. EJ Liddell, that's my guy. I said he was going to be good. He hasn't played much, but that's my guy. Big up EJ Liddell, 2-year deal. We're going to just go through till I see something good. DiVincenzo signed for New York, that's it. And they're basically rebuilding their Villanova team. It's crazy. This is basically OKC building their draft capital. I don't know when they're going to let go of all these picks, but when they do, it's going to be a blockbuster deal. Phoenix, Bradley Beal. I guess he left, so... But Bradley Beal and Jordan Goodwin. This is the NBA website, by the way. This is not my website. It's spelled Jordan Goodwin wrong. Bradley Beal and Jordan Goodwin. It's good for them. Jordan Goodwin, I think maybe you start him at the point. I mean, I heard they're going to start Bradley Beal, but just consider starting Jordan Goodwin at point guard, Phoenix. Just consider it. That's all I'm saying. Bradley Beal obviously was told his services weren't needed in DC no more, so he orchestrated this trade to Phoenix, obviously with his no trade clause. But yeah, Fez, I might lie a bit and say I don't like Bradley Beal, but I love Bradley Beal to bits. He's done a lot in his 10 years in DC. Maybe he's even 11. He's our second leading scorer of all time. I love Bradley Beal, that's my guy. But I mean, he should have probably left last year. We shouldn't have given him the contract. But it is what it is. Phoenix, enjoy that. Hopefully Bradley Beal can win a chip. Utah, I think this is the best deal they did. Yuta Watanabe gives them, on a very cheap deal, gives them shooting. And it gives them serviceable minutes on that team. Through no money, I don't know how they've managed to do all this. Re-signing Joshua Okogie, Chimezi Metu, re-signing Damian Lee, signing Eric Gordon on minimum, Drew Eubanks. I don't really care about K-Base D-Up. And Yuta Watanabe. It's really, really good. Portland, obviously, Jeremy Grant. That's a bad deal. I'm not going to say anything else. That's a really bad deal. Jeremy Grant's deal. Matisse Thybulle. I guess it teaches people how to defend. I would have sent him to a better team and maybe got some draft capital back. Didn't even need to get a player in exchange. Domantas Sabonis gets the deal he deserves. He's been on a really bad deal, but fairs. Only thing that matters here is Victor Wembanyama. The rest of you are alright, I guess. John Collins, that's the next deal that's quite interesting. John Collins, for years he's been on the trade block, and I don't know. Atlanta, all they got back for him, if we go up, is some picks then, I guess, because they traded away Rudy Gay. So all they got back for him was some picks. So I guess they wanted to get rid of the salary, but I mean, you could have got more for John Collins. You could have got a lot more. You didn't need to trade him. You really didn't need to. But fair enough. And lastly, my Wizards. Kuzma returns. That's my guy. Guys know that's my guy. And we needed to hit the salary floor, so I hear it. Because now we've hit the salary floor. He's not giving us too much wins. But we don't need to tank right now, like go full on tank, because this draft class isn't the greatest. But next draft class with the Banster and the other white cat, I can't remember his name, the tall guy, that's a really good draft class. And Jordan Poole, that's my guy now. I'll ride for you, Jordan. JP, I got you. And Landry Shamet shouldn't get any PT either. So that was NBA free agency so far. Obviously still more moves to be done. Christian Wood still hasn't got an NBA team. John Wall needs an NBA team. Bring him back to DC. Come back, JW2. Come back, bro. We got all the time in the world for you. Let me know what you think is the best and the worst free agency deal. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you, man, in a bit. Boom.